everyone, I'm ManoDester777 and I am back for the first time in a long while, and I'm glad to be making content again on YouTube and Twitch. For my first video back, I thought I'd do one of the things to help to build my stream and community. In D1, our community were some of the top runners of the Black Spindle mission, and now I'm here in D2 to show you how to easily solo the Whisper of the Worm quest in the Destiny 2 Forsaken expansion. Now there's some important things here. I'm going to do it on a hunter and on a console. But why now? Why are those things important? I'm going to talk about that all in a second. First of all, the reason why this encounter is a lot harder than it was to start off with when the Whisper was actually released is the fact that when you start this mission, there are no heavy drops. None. Zero. Zip. No matter what you do to your armor, you cannot get more heavy drops. So essentially, you either have to use the Whisper, which is a problem if you're watching this video, maybe you don't have one, or you have to make sure you have a fire team to help. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to crush this exotic mission. So before we dig in, some basics on the quest if you don't know how to spawn it. First off, the only way to access the secret mission is to go to IO and get a Taken Blight public event in the area of the Lost Oasis. There is only one area as you look at the map that will not spawn a Taken Blight, which is dead center, which I'm going to show right now. So as long as it is not in one of those locations, you're in good shape. After the event spawns, you'll have to look for one of the Taken bosses that spawn in one of three locations. First, one is by the Ikora Scannable that I just shot in the video here. Next up, there is another one by the Crevice, which is right here in this area. Next up, you're going to look for one of the Taken bosses, if it's not in those two locations, over by the giant tree in the middle of the map. I'd recommend standing near the crevice point and looking towards the Ikora Scannable by the Lost sector. If you look at those two places really quickly, you can tell on your radar if they're going to show up or if you need to head over to the tree. So now that we know where to set up and get everything going, let's talk gear and weapons. I'm actually going to be using an unusual setup where I use a sniper in the primary slot. Yes, this is very important. Pulse rifles in the energy slot, again, super important, and sleeper simulant. I'm going to spec my armor in specific ways. It's not required, but it does make the mission and the run go a lot easier. First of all, I'm going to set up with the highest amount of linear fusion rifle reserves that I can get so I can have as many shots in my sleeper simulant as possible. I'm also going to set up special ammo finder as well as sniper ammo scavenger so I can pick up one brick of special ammo finder. I have a greater chance of finding special ammo when I actually kill an enemy, as well as my final piece on a hunter. I'm going to upgrade my solar damage resistance, my fire damage resistance, and you'll see why when I go through the video. Okay, so let's start up the run. First of all, I'm going to check and see where the Taken boss spawns in at. I'm checking the Ikora Scannable. I see that the radar blip pops up there. He spawns down below in the crevice. I'm going to go down and nuke him. So while we're getting the mission started up and while I'm doing the platform puzzle, I thought I'd take a second and talk about the reason why this video is still relevant, why I'm doing it on a hunter, and why I'm doing it on a console, especially in terms of a guide. First of all, let me preface this by saying this is not a perfect run by any stretch of the imagination. It's not flawless. I wasn't going for that, but I wanted to show how doing it on a hunter and on a console adds some challenges, and we actually just need to talk about that. So a lot of the guides that you see on YouTube are actually a lot of people who do it on PC and with Solar Titans. Why is this important? First of all, no hate to any of those content creators. They put out massive, amazing content that I really enjoy. But I think that there are some things missing because they don't play on multiple platforms. For starters, let's talk about the PC front. Even though some people mistakenly believe that movement speed is increased, it's not on PC. However, platforming and movement adjustments are significantly much more forgiving and tilted towards advantage on PC. For example, you can spin your character around significantly faster on PC than you can on console. Using mouse and keyboard lends itself to more advantages, and there are many things in the jumping puzzle and how you platform that you can easily move through faster than on console. In addition, there is a massive piece, especially with time content. Say, for example, you have a timer. One of the things that causes problems when you're on console is the loading times that you never get on PC unless if you have a very old system. This is something that is often missed when people put together guides and tutorials. In fact, every single leading speedrun, whether it's a strike, an exotic mission, or a raid currently done in the Destiny 2 community, is done on PC. As someone who plays on both platforms and having members of the community that play on both, I want to show you that it's possible to do on console. Okay, next up, let's talk Titans versus Hunters in the Whisper of the Worm quest. Some great runs that you should watch, which I'm going to link in the description, are Esoteric and Ebontis. They put out some great videos of doing these on Sunbreaker Titans. In fact, Esoteric put out a really cool video where he did a heroic Solar Singe version with no guns whatsoever, just using abilities and supers. So that's a really cool video. I really highly recommend you go check out those two videos. However, some content creators have said that it is easier to do it on an Arc Strider versus a Sunbreaker, which I heartily disagree with for a number of reasons. Let's actually go over it now. First of all, the neutral game of the Sunbreaker, if you don't know what the neutral game is basically the abilities and melees and grenades and things like that that you can use, not your super, are way more effective on the Sunbreaker. Thermite Grenade on its own is the most powerful and stable PvE grenade in the game. It does the most damage, it lasts the longest. Arguments could be made for the Void Wall, but the truth is there's really no argument that can be made that the Arc Strider grenade classes can match the Sunbreaker Titan in any respect. Titans also have the innate ability to create a rally barricade so they don't have to reload when their ability is up. Since it's an ability that exists longer than one reload cycle, it's significantly stronger than the Hunter reload ability. They can spam shots at the bosses and they can make sure they get those things done, whereas a Hunter has to constantly reload all the time. Really, the only strength of the Arc Strider class is when it's combined with Radiant Flux as an ad clear, and even then, it has the ability to easily run out. As you're running this, I would recommend that you run Top Tree for your Arc Strider, as the melee enemies for health regen can be helpful in tight situations. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the fight here. You can see I'm doing my best to actually get through this on console. You can see that there's a little couple of things that I get hung up on. On PC, I've done it on both mouse and keyboard, controller, on PC as well as on console. I can tell you firsthand, it is a lot easier to do it on PC. I just find that things are a lot more smooth over there. I don't know if it's the higher frame rate, but you're just able to be more competitive there and get a faster time. You'll see me actually miss a jump here. I don't know. I've never missed that jump before, but I missed it this time. But really exciting. I'm really glad that they put that shortcut in, by the way, for a lot of people who are struggling. I was one of the people that actually did the jumping puzzle, and we still completed it the first try. Yeah, for some reason that knocked me off there, so apologies on that. You'll see, like I said, it is not a perfect run in any respect. But I can show you that even if you don't do a perfect run, you can still complete it if you know what you're doing and you follow this guide. Okay, we're getting down to the main room, and I'm going to kind of narrate what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure I don't miss the jump, first of all. Now, you'll see here that I've got my solar pulse rifle out. It's actually super important for a couple of reasons. I'm going to go ahead and snipe the first enemy on my right, and as I enter the room here, a lot of those taken blight things are going to explode. I'm going to actually proc them so they get out of the way. I'm going to turn to my right here and snipe this boss. If you do it in a perfect world, you do a one-shot. I'm going to switch over to my solar pulse rifle, which is very strong here, and take down his shield. By doing that, I allow my sniper to actually come into play here, and you'll see me do that often. The big challenge in this particular run in Whisper of the Worm is the fact that so many of these enemies are shielded and you have to deal with it. And on console, you don't have a ton of time to switch. So you really have to work on making sure that you have your build set up. I prioritize the enemies up on the top ledges, especially these folks here, the yellow bars with shields, because they can cause a lot of problems in getting clears. You want to save your ammunition. And then once that I have my synapse junctions going here, I can actually clear a lot of those guys here. As I jump up here, if in a perfect world, I would have waited till all those things spawned in. But here, I'm actually able to use my solar pulse rifle, and I can get those shields down. I move back to this tree area. This is kind of a safe zone once you clear that out, and you can basically go through and clear the rest of the enemies. A lot of the enemies in here are going to have these annoying Vex shields on, so you want to prioritize taking those guys out. as much and as quickly as possible. As soon as those folks are taken out, you can move on. You've taken care of a lot of the smaller enemies too. I'm going to finish off 1 or 2 of the enemies that spawned up over there. Come down here. Now those guys love to just stay in the shields and hang out. This is one of the reasons why I really enjoy having the melee ability for the Arc Strider. This is very strong. It gives you a little bit more it seems to do a little bit more damage, plus you get your health back on the first one, so you're going to see me use that a couple of times in the video. I go over here, there's 1 or 2 enemies, but now that I've cleared everything else out, I have a safe lane here. We'll clear these guys out pretty quickly, and again, since I'm not surrounded, things are a lot easier. I can focus on a couple of those enemies at once. Not a big deal. Not getting surrounded is a very important strategy for this quest and making sure that it works. Okay, let's talk about this room. A lot of people like to spam their supers in this room. You can see I don't have my super. So what do you do if you don't have your super in this area? What you're going to do is bring all those enemies over to the right-hand side. They'll basically stick in there. You might get blinded a couple of times, but what you can actually do is use your solar pulse rifle and knock out the shields of the guys that are there. In a perfect world, both of the solar shielded taken enemies would come over to the right, and you could actually do double damage because you could pop one shield and then pop the other. In this case, he didn't do exactly what I wanted him to, but you can see still that I can manage that room. A lot of people get into that room and they freak out and they don't know quite what to do, so they just pop their supers immediately. And I think that there are better ways you can use your super. Now on to the most annoying guy of this strike. I hate that knight that is up there that just shoots constantly up at you with fire. So I make sure to prioritize him, take out that target, move over to my right, try and do a little bit more bonus damage over in this area. You don't have to focus on that guy on the right, but I had a moment where I was clear and it seemed to be good. Now I missed a jump there. Again, not a perfect run. This is a room where you might die once or twice, and it's important not to get flustered. It's very important just to focus on what target you're going to hit next. You need to get that Taken Knight off there. Once you get these 2 Taken Knights that throw fire at you dead, you have a lot more leeway to take out the entire room. So you're going to focus on them. Again, you can see the reason why I put the solar resistance on my hunter. Even though they're shooting me with solar weapons, I actually am going to get a lot of damage on him. I'm actually going to die here in just a second, but I'm going to be able to get a number of different shots and take out his shields and most of his health. I'll also push some of the enemies back farther into the room because they're kind of aggroed into that area. So I can actually take a look to the guy on the right-hand side now. You can see all those enemies moved up to the front of the room because they were aggroed to the front, and I can actually take him and the other taken enemies out over there. I'm actually going to focus on that guy a little bit later on. So we're going to go back over here and knock out the snipers as well as that taken knight. Again, you can see how annoying they can be, and what I focus on again is making sure that he's toast. Again, I need to get a little bit more damage on, but again, the wizard's shooting at you. Take a second, knock him out, get to safety as much as possible. If you need to jump, life is good. In a perfect world, you wouldn't have that much fire. Now I'm going to change to a void pulse rifle. Again, console, you have to take a lot of time and actually take care of that. My next priority is to knock out those snipers. Once you take out a couple of those snipers, the wizards will usually move. If they're hiding, they'll move into a position where they'll actually try and hit you. So as soon as you start thinking that that wizard's going to turn towards you, take them out. You'll notice I don't focus on the next wizard. It's because I can actually hide from her for a second and take out another sniper so I don't get hit from that area. I'm going to take out her void shield. And the void shields in this room are actually really easy to deal with if you've got any kind of a void pulse rifle. Very good in this respect. I would be using scout rifles, but in the current meta, scouts are very, very weak. I know that there's going to be a buff coming, I want to say at the end of October, maybe middle of October with Festival of the Lost. So I'm hoping that scouts will return to their prominence then. I really do enjoy using scouts on this kind of an activity too. So I've taken out most of the different snipers. What I'm going to actually go through here is take out these guys in the shield. They can be quite annoying when they sit back in there in the shields and you can't do a lot of damage. You'll actually see me use those taken kind of blight shields a little bit later on to my advantage, which I can show you how to do as well. So now I need to make sure that I clear out all the other top tier high-end enemies. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my solar pulse rifle to knock out this third taken knight. Now that I've taken out the other knights, I've taken out most of the wizards, I have a lot more room to maneuver. It's a lot safer to deal with him. Yes, I could go up there and use my super on him, but I want to save my super for different parts of the encounter because I want to make sure I have plenty of time left to deal with the bosses. So here you can see I'm up top shelf, very easy to deal with. I'm going to need to switch over to my void pulse, but you can see that she's sending some thrall at me. Easy to fix. Again, console takes a little bit more time to spin up your inventory, which can be annoying. So now I'm going to go through here. I basically need to bait her out of that shield a little bit so I can knock out her void shield, do some damage to her. And a lot of times she'll actually move back. It's really annoying when she does that. Some people like to take out that blight, which is fine if you'd like to do that as well. But what you can do is once you actually get into that area, you can snipe her. You can see there I use that shield to my advantage. She can't shoot me with her solar attacks, and I can just basically back up, use that shield in the taken blight, and life is good. So now I'm going to take out that blight. I'm going to have to recover some health here because I'm almost dead. And again, you'll see me using a sniper rifle. The sniper rifle is actually a good thing to use because you can do a lot more damage than on your primary. Again, I need to heal up, but I'm getting plenty of special ammo drops, so that sniper rifle can do a lot more damage. I still have the ammunition. Life is good. Now here is another example of I didn't clear everything in the room. It's not a perfect run. I just need to kill a couple of enemies back over here that I forgot about. Once I knock them out, I can progress on to the next section. The other reason why I took that blight out over by the area by the door is because there's going to be some enemies that are going to spawn in, and having that blight out of the way is going to make things a lot easier. I'm not going to push too far up. I'm going to try and take out at least 2 of these hobgoblins so I have a lot less room to, or a lot more room to move. Here I'm going to grenade those guys, and you can see that I'm going to move back into one of the taken blights. He tried to shoot me with his melee attack from his shield. He couldn't do anything from it because I was in the taken blight. I used their strengths as my advantages. That's something you want to use a lot of times when you're doing this strike. Knock these guys out, and again, these guys are very, very easy to knock out with a pulse. It doesn't even really matter which one. I'd go for an adaptive or a high damage pulse in this area. Luckily, I've got an inaugural address that's got kill clip. Very easy to deal with in this area. We'll knock these guys out, and we'll head down below. And one of the reasons why I'm killing all those enemies, some people skip it in terms of a speed run. I want to get all of those special ammo drops and have them up at the top because there's going to be a couple of moments in this area where I'm probably going to die. Next up, I'm going to switch to my sniper rifle. We need to take care of 3 main blights in this area. We need to take care of the front right blight, the front left blight, as well as the middle blight. If you don't get rid of those, killing the 3 bosses is a huge challenge. Again, since I've got my sniper rifle ammo and scavenger and special ammo finder on my armor, it's pretty easy to deal with. In here, I make a snap decision. I die in this position here, which is a little bit of a bummer, but again, some people will go through rooms and bait different enemies, but it's fine. I actually just want to make sure that I know where my special ammo is up at the top, and also that I get the enemies kind of gathered in an area so that I can use my super. I'm going to get this blight down, and as soon as I do that, I'm going to start clearing these ads. That's going to make clearing that final blight very easy because otherwise a lot of those enemies will come. I could get another death. It would not work very well for me. So I'm going to clear out almost all of the enemies except for 1. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that I have time before the bosses spawn to take out that blight without losing a lot of time or losing a lot of ammo. Again, you have to very much watch your health bar when this is going on. And also, if they're shooting void darts at you, the Axion darts, take a second, knock those out real quick, and you'll be fine. So I'm going to take out this middle blight. There's 1 or 2 enemies. Again, they're trying to shoot at me, but because I'm in the shield, it's no big deal. Once I pop it, though, I have to watch and make sure that life is good. One benefit from that arc grenade is that I can knock out his shield. And now the bosses are in. Let's talk about how to deal with this fight. You'll notice that I didn't use heavy at any point during that fight. That is because I want to save it all for my sleeper simulant in this area. I have plenty of shots because I have linear rifle reserves, and I'm going to try and knock him out as fast as possible. If you feel like you are getting blinded a lot by this guy and you want to get a shot off and you're worried you're going to miss something, a really easy trick is as he's shooting, you can usually see his eyeball through his his blind attacks that he sends at you. You'll notice there I missed that one, which is unfortunate, but you'll notice that there's a lot of times like he sends the blight over and I can actually get him in his crit spot. I also move him to a separate area over on that right hand side because a lot of times you can make it so his blinding attacks actually hit the wall instead of you. Next up, I work on the final guy right over here to the left. He is actually ridiculously easy. For some reason, he barely moves when you're using a fusion rifle. When you start to use a sniper, if he doesn't get stunned, he'll start to move back in that area like he just did there. Luckily, I keep an angle on him. If they ever start to move into a position where they can't hit you, just move up a little bit farther to the front and start to shoot some enemies. That will provide some aggro. He'll move to a different position. If you're getting hit by Axion darts from the third and final boss, Turkey Man, all you need to do is just either shoot at him really quickly, just turn, use your primary, knock it out. You'll see me actually use my sniper rifle sometimes because I'm not worried. I know that there's some special ammo out there that I can find and take him out. Again, this second boss, very easy to do. He never moves as long as you're in a certain area in the back. Very easy to do. All right, the third and final boss is very annoying because he likes, when you're in this area, to spawn to two different sides. He likes to go behind that block that's over there, and here, sometimes he might not even come out of that third blight, which is fine by me because I have to go get special ammo, and I'm probably going to die here, no worries. But I need to get all that special ammo anyway, so I have a lot of sniper shots. I bait him to the front. I can also come out here, see if there's any other sniper ammo, and go ahead and start to do my final damage phase. As he starts to move out, again, I move forward just a hair to try and pull him forward. There's going to be a time where I'm going to adjust. So I actually, for example, you can see how I back up here, but I've aggroed him so the area of engagement pushes up a little bit. So he's going to stay in that area now instead of going back into that final blight. Here, get as many shots as you can, but don't rush it. You have plenty of time if you've done it right and you followed the guide to the letter. You can see you can get some good critical shots. I take a second. I switch over to my primary, get my health back. Since you're not using sleeper, you don't have to use your entire clip on him. Take a second. Make sure you're actually getting the critical shots on his head. That is going to do a lot more. This is the only time really I'm going to use Arc Strider to my advantage. I'm looking at the clock, making sure that I have plenty of time. I'm going to get him down to a time that I think when my Arc Strider ability actually comes back up, I'll be able to go down there and destroy the final boss. But I've done all the heavy lifting already with my sniper and my fusion rifle. If you wanted to, you could make an argument for using Polaris Lance in this area for ammunition. But the problem again right now in the current meta is the fact that scout rifles are not any good. They're very, very weak. So here I come down. I know I'm going to be able to take him out. If there are some other enemies that are doing damage, take a second, knock them out. Just turn to your side. Since you have Synapse Junction going on, you can actually take care of it pretty easily. So knock out the boss, get your Whisper, and profit. So hopefully you folks really enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making it. It was not a perfect run, and it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to show that yes, you can do it on a hunter with Arc Strider even though you don't have thermite grenades. It showed that you can do it on console even though you have slow loading times and slower, less flexible movement abilities. And I just like to do challenges like this too. I think it's one of those things that a lot of people shy away from, and I'd like to see more people in the community give this a shot because it is a lot of fun. It helps to build your skill level. It's helped me to be a better player in Destiny as well. So if you did like the video, feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe for more content like this. Feel free to share it. If there are other people in your communities or people who play the game that really enjoy this kind of stuff, let them know about the YouTube channel. Let them know about the community we have on Twitch, twitch.tv/manodester777. We brought people through raids all the time. I'm hoping to bring that back as well, do some fun challenges, bring you amazing content for you folks to all enjoy, and build a really fun community together in the Manoverse clan and beyond. So with that being said, thank you guys again so much for watching. It was a blast making this, and it's been about a year since I've been able to say this, so I'm really thankful that I can say I'll see you guys next time in the universe of Destiny.